Welcome back to the Folding Tales podcast. I'm your host for today, David Clayton, and I am joined by a very special guest today, Christine Knox.
Thank you, David. Wow, it's great to be here.
Christine is an internationally trained and renowned practitioner, author, and creator of the only mentored online programs for hands-on therapists and remedial hot stones and for gentle scar therapy. Christine trained in the UK and attained the highest qualification available to massage therapists, a professional degree, BTEC Level 6, Advanced Clinical and Sports Massage. 14 years of massage and bodywork experience coupled with a background in performing arts, sales, teaching and business across the UK and Australia, she's been exposed to an extraordinary blend of perspectives which has resulted in a truly unique framework of sustainability and fulfillment that is changing the way massage therapists, myotherapists and bodyworkers develop their business and hands-on practical skills across the globe. Welcome, Christine. It's so good to have you here today. Yeah, we're just having a little bit of a chat before, and a bit of surprise about seeing your journey put down on paper.
Yeah, wow.
I think it's something that all of us should do at some point in time, is to write down where we started and just how far we've come, just so we can.
True story. I mean, we can't spend every day looking in the rear view mirror, but it's good to pause, take stock, and acknowledge it.
I don't know whether it's an Australian thing or a tall poppy thing or something, but I've met so many people who 15 years into the career still see themselves as a beginner.
I don't know if that's across the globe or what. It might just be a personality trait. And then there's some people who are overconfident, 6 months in, they're like, right, I'm the best.
I do envy that attitude.
Yeah, it might just be personality.
You haven't always been a massage therapist. What was your first career?
Well, I qualified way back in the day now as a visual merchandiser. So I was a window dresser. So my first paid job as a window dresser was in self-employment.
That set you up quite well.
When I was 19 years old, I set up my first business as a window dresser. And I went around all the independent stores in the city of Aberdeen where I lived and asked for jobs. Like, do you change your windows seasonally? How often? Do you need someone to come in and design a whole theme for you, create posters, signage, actually put together your Easter display, your Christmas display, all of these things. And I got some paid clients. And remember, I was 19 and I did Christmas, Easter, and then decided to go to some music festivals for the entire summer and not really do much work. So that was kind of the end of that job. So yeah, that was my first business. I got paid work. I was able to do the work and it was great fun until I got distracted by music festivals all around. Hey, let's do a tour of that. And when I got back from that, I went, right, okay, I'll go and get another job somewhere else. I'll just get a job. I won't do the window dressing. And got a job in sales. And I had, I think, 3 different jobs in an electronics company, which is like hilarious if you know me well. But I've had a lot of tech phobia. And I used to sell cameras and computers in like an equivalent of JB Hi-Fi. So I did that for about a year. And then at the same time, I had a job as an antiques restorer. So that was, again, I could only work 4 hours in there a week because of the fumes. So it was an antique shop. And I still am a bit of an antiques lover. I love antiques. If you ever come to my house, you'll be like, wow, this is not what I expected. Wow. It was eclectic. So it's an antiques shop, and all these people used to come in and say, I was only babysitting and I happened to knock over this Royal Doulton figurine, and now it's in a shoebox of 100 pieces. Can you help me? So we had a guy that glued everything back together, hence the fumes, and a bank of painters that disguised the patching up. So I was a painter And that very light, you had to do it in the lightest layers of paint ever. And because if you did it too thick, it just looked like a band-aid. Yeah. You had to blend it into the original, porcelain. Sometimes that porcelain was 500 years old. Sometimes it was 30 years old. Depending on the item that had been brought in. And I think that sophistication of touch started developing then. Yeah, it was a very fine and delicate and sensitive way to paint. It wasn't what I had been used to at art college, creating windows and things. We had a whole arcade of windows that we actually made themed window displays where we'd be like, slapping paint all over the place. So this was completely different thing. So I was doing that. And then one day I was in the pub, and one of the regulars said, Christine, what are you doing with all these jobs? You're wasted. I have got a job for you. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, I've got a job for you. It's at a printing company. And I was like, what would I be doing? He goes, oh, filing. I was like, that sounds all right. So I went in there as the filing lassie, getting, artwork from the designers and filing it, getting a customer file and filing that. And I started there, and then 8 years later, I was running it. So I worked my way up, I guess, and ran a team of sales execs. I was the manager of their head office, had a great time, and lots of different people, speaking to even a little old lady coming in for a photocopy of her knitting pattern, from that to then an oil company that's looking to make health and safety documents for the oil rig, or a brand new startup company looking to make all of their business stationery and marketing copy and leaflets and things. So I was working in that area, exhibition design, all of that stuff, posters, leaflets, business cards, and liaising with the designers and selling.
Well, I've known you for a long time, Christine, and that's a part of your story that I didn't know.
You didn't know I worked in a printing company for 8 years. So this is from before I was married till I became pregnant with my first child. And I left there because I was moving to Australia and I was pregnant. So I took early maternity leave, had a good relationship with them, and said, I am pregnant. And my husband just announced he wants to move to Australia. Can I take early maternity leave so I can pack and organize tenants for my apartment and do all these things? And they were like, yeah, sure. As long as you train up your, person that's coming in to replace you. Thanks for letting us know you won't be back, because then we'll choose differently. It won't just be a maternity relief position. It will be a replacement position. I'm like, that's cool. I'll help. That's the way that all happened.
Let's talk about your massage journey and where it all began. What motivated you to step into the world of massage therapy, and why are you still in this business today?
Oh gosh. So I was living in Australia with my husband and 3 children by this stage. And we were moved back to Scotland. So it was kind of a case of we'd move over to Australia for 18 months and, oh gosh, is that the time? 3 children, and 5 years later, we'd better go back to Scotland. So we did. And my husband was working in Edinburgh, and my younger sister at that time was a massage therapist, and she worked in the field of equestrian massage, canine massage. That was one part of her business. And the other part of her business, she was working offshore doing massage on the oil rigs. I think it was like a week in, week on, and week off. It was kind of the way it worked. And she was getting really busy, and she was like, I need your help. I need a job. She goes, I need your help. You can be a massage therapist. You'd be good at this. And I just believed her, and was kind of a bit swayed by a bit seduced really by the thought of getting a helicopter to work. I thought, that sounds cool. Not thinking of the weather on the North Sea or, Usually. And that's how I became a massage therapist, because my younger sister was like, great, let's do it. And I was like, well, find me a course. So she did. And then I did the course and then I qualified. So that's basically how I got into it. It was a bit of a shock that first day at massage school, because I'd really had no experience of receiving professional massage. I'd had one massage from my younger sister up until that point, and that had been a seated pregnancy massage where I'd been like semi-clothed. That had been it. And so I went to massage school with that experience. And then on the first day, they're like, okay, strip off and stranger can touch you. And I'm like, holy moly, are you kidding me? No way. Oh, and by the way, you can put your clothes back on now, and now you touch them. They're now naked. I'm like, what? What crazy world is this? No. And I'd gone home that night and just said, the words I'd used to my husband was, it's just too hard. It's just too hard. This is not for me. This is just too hard. And I'd kind of just been repeating, it's just too hard. It's not for me, like over and over and over. And like kind of quietly kind of rocking in the corner. And he was just like, yeah, okay, don't worry. It'll all be fine. It'll be good. And then like the next day, he just kind of guided me to breakfast, guided me to the car, drove me to the school, took me to the door and handed me over. And it was really his biggest mistake he ever made.
Did you end up getting to ride helicopters to work?
Not yet, David.
Yes, I like the optimism.
There's still time, I'm sure.
What is it that you think you fell in love with massage and the complementary health industry?
Obviously, the people. The people are amazing. Not only massage therapists, they are kind of the coolest people I've ever met. They're amazing. Yeah, the different breed. Seriously, they are just wonderful, caring, deeply caring people. They are often very sensitive to everything. And I really like that about them. I love that they love to feel things. I didn't know that I love to feel things, but I do. I love to touch things. I love to actually do things with my hands. Yeah. And I love people. I love to interact with people. So ticks a lot of boxes. Yeah. Get to work in a nice, quiet room. It usually smells pretty good. Usually, most of the time. And there's nice plinky plonky music. It's kind of chilled out. Going to work was more relaxing than staying at home with 3 children under the age of 6 when I first started.
Agreed.
It was like a holiday from my reality. It was awesome. That's what I really loved. And I also loved that the people that I mixed with were so wonderful, really wonderful. So, yeah.
So you've gone on to develop some quite special skills, which you are now teaching today to massage therapists around Australia and probably around the world. Who do you feel have been some of your influences along the way?
Ooh, well, my first teachers, incredible, Simonetta Logan and Ros Cope from Scotland. They are amazing. And they introduced me to all these incredible modalities. So they introduced me to fascia. Hello, amazing. And they introduced me to other teachers of that, who then opened my eyes further, deepened my knowledge. So we've got all the biggies. We've got, well, the ones that I really loved and became completely obsessed with are the trailblazers at the Jing Institute in the UK. So that's Rachel Fairweather and Megan Murray. They were inspirational to me at that time and still are. They have just reached their 20 years in business this year of running massage courses. And they also introduced me to people like the work of Jean-Pierre Barrel, visceral manipulation therapist, French, and John Barnes, myofascial release, Ida Roth, structural integration, anatomy trains, Tom Myers. It's the biggies, Till.
Yes.
Yes. All of them, it's like it was amazing. Like up ledger, cranial sacral work. It's like, I love them all. They all have things that I dip in and out of, and I'll have a bit of this one and I'll have a bit of that one and I'll mush it all together and put it in one treatment. the ladies at Jing introduced me to hot stones. So that was obviously like love at first. Yeah, so that was huge. I don't know who else to mention. Like they're all amazing. Like seriously.
If you had to pick just a couple of things, what do
Yeah.
you think has really deeply resonated with you, which has influenced your treatment style and outcomes?
Oh, in terms of treatment style, I guess the ladies at Jing really, because they were right at that foundational level for me. And they speak a lot of the sophistication of touch. They speak a lot about creating and crafting. They talk about the art of massage. They talk about mixing East and West, mixing science and the esoteric.
Mm.
They blending everything together. It's a fusion. There's no particular area of body work that they see as inferior or less value. So everything is given acknowledgement, and yeah, everything's valued. It's given the respect that it's needed, required, and at the heart of it all, obviously, is the clients. So yeah, so I'd say that they were possibly my biggest influence.
Fast forward a few years, and you find yourself in a regional town of Australia as a massage therapist, getting stuck back into running your own business. Tell me a little bit about your business journey there.
I started off there as a locum. So I went around the town, new in town. Hi, what do you do? Oh, can I get, can book a treatment and, blah, 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 meet people. Then I had one of those therapists said, you know what? I'm actually going away on holidays for like 8 weeks. Do you want to cover my clinic? Yeah. Awesome. So that's how I got into that locum. And then their friend was going away, and then their friend, and I started going all around the town, working out of other people's clinics, which was great for me because I didn't really have any equipment and things when I first started there. And then, so many months down the track, all the equipment arrives and all my stones and all my bits and pieces. So yeah, so it was great. And one of their clients said, you need to go and work for my son. So I went across the cricket oval to the chiropractor's office where that's where the business he ran as a chiropractor. And he said, oh, it's rooms to rent. And I was like, oh, phew, because I don't want to work for anyone else. Not really. Kind of like to do that for myself. And started up there, rented rooms off him, and was doing okay. I was surprised that the hot stones were hit with Australians in summer. That was a shock to me, coming from a cold place, and going well. And then I hired a business coach.
This is how we met.
This is how we met. Yeah. I think I saw an ad for a business coach, and then I kept seeing the ad, and eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm filling out the form. And then I got a call from Alicia Crook. And yeah, I said to her, hey, this all sounds great, but what guarantee have you got for me that this is going to improve my business, that this is going to deliver the stuff I'm looking for? Like, I want to make a massage school. And she's like, there's no guarantee. She was like, there's no guarantee. You have to do the work. And I was like, good stuff. Sign me up. So that was how that went down. And so I worked with those guys. And one of the first things she said to me was, oh, yeah, you won't need staff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I literally went out the next week and hired someone. It's like this ridiculous thing. No, you don't need this. You can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. I'll just go and do that. And I made a real mess of it. And although that same staff member was super tolerant of me and stayed with me for 3 years, maybe 4 actually, and it was just amazing. And we are pals and still have a good relationship together. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you about that, David.
I find it fascinating because I met you, I think maybe you were 3 months into your coaching journey at that point, maybe 6 months. And I just figured you were like me and you wanted to grow your massage practice. And the fact that you had in that initial conversation, I want to start a massage school. Well, that's really bold. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Come to Australia. What do I want to do? I'll make a massage school. That's what I want to do.
So from that point to now, how many years has that journey been?
Well, I started with them in 2017.
So
So that
7 years.
7 years. 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That persistence is really really inspiring. Because I think there's a great impatience, particularly around business, of wanting things now, or even in 12 months' time, you'll have what you want. And no, the truth is that it takes a little bit longer to get there.
So I think it's the ability to have a plan and know that I will get there if I follow these steps, but also the thing that I want is potentially 2-3 years down the line.
So we all encounter setbacks on our journey. Could you share a bit of a setback that has turned into a valuable lesson, which has ultimately built you into where you are today?
Every single setback has been a valuable lesson, David. Every single one. Things like not having certain policies and procedures in place for when I had my first staff members coming on. I had all the onboarding, but I didn't have the offboarding. And I hadn't anticipated people just wanting to leave of their own will. So it wasn't like, hey, you're fired. It was like, hey, I'm firing myself. Goodbye. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. So I've had a few of those when I first started out. And I think maybe we were in the coaching program at the same time.
Yeah.
On. So I had somebody delete the entire Power Diary database.
That's a big whoopsie, isn't it?
That's a big one. So I don't like you anymore, Christine. Deleting my clients. So yeah, luckily we have backups for you. So unlike me to do that on a regular basis, but actually I had a system and a habit of doing it. It was a bit of a shock. I hadn't anticipated anyone ever doing that. I also had member staff decide not to return the key to the premises. Yikes. I didn't have a key return policy in place. I didn't even have a thing when I gave them a key to prove that I'd given them a key or that they knew their responsibilities surrounding that key. So yeah, that was also a bit of a shock. I did eventually get it back. But what do you do in the interim? Your premises is completely open to whatever circumstance, you make the nightmare list yourself. So it's like, wow, these are things I hadn't foreseen and was not prepared for. Yeah, so that was procedurally setbacks. In terms of more deeper learning was, what was my part in those situations actually even occurring? And they were instrumental, to be honest. Yeah.
That's very deep thought.
Yeah. So I think that now about everything. What is my part in this? What was my role in this? What could I have done better? What will I do better for next time? What did I actually learn from this? So coupled with that is the ability to be self-compassionate when we're doing that, instead of, hey, here's my big fat stick, I'm just going to beat myself with it. It's like, oh, hey, hang on just one moment. I'm a human. I make mistakes. And what did I actually learn from that? I learned that my perspective isn't always the correct perspective in a certain situation, or I was not open to somebody else's perspective. So it's being actually quite honest with yourself and thinking, you know what? Could have done that better. I could have avoided that situation by being more open and being more vulnerable in terms of having those difficult conversations, opening myself up to taking on feedback from staff, correcting, improving, making things better.
Staff management is an art, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And for those who are running clinics and who have staff, hats off to you. I've had my foray in hiring. Decided that I'm far more comfortable doing my own thing. I had fabulous staff working for me. No criticism to them, but you have to be passionate about running a clinic.
Yeah, there's a lot of relationship building. There's a lot of looking out for them, but also
Mm.
not mothering them.
Yes.
There's a it's a really interesting dynamic when you start to
Yeah.
get into it.
And it's so different to that office environment. You talked about some of those challenges where a couple of things went wrong a little bit pear-shaped. In the office environment, there's surveillability of people. You can be watched, be checked up on. When they close that door for the 30 minutes, the 60 minutes, the 90 minutes, there's a lot of trust that takes place at that point in time. You have no control as to what happens next.
It's a true story, true
Yeah.
story. And the trust goes both ways as
Mm.
well. So my staff, as a rule, I was always like, I am never going to make you massage a person that you're not comfortable massaging. If you're not comfortable massaging that person, come and tell me before the appointment, and we'll talk about it. We'll find out what is it about that person, the situation that you're uncomfortable with. So it might be someone's personal hygiene. Is there a way that we can have a very gentle conversation with that person about their personal hygiene? Do you want me to approach that? Do you want to do it together? Do you want to do it yourself? How do you want to handle it? I am here to support you and help you in every single way I can when it's to do with the work environment. So we did have a couple of those ones where we in our clinic, and we did have the conversation with the client. And then the client became the favorite client of my staff member.
Fast forward a few years, and I remember the conversation. David, I've closed my clinic. I'm working from home, and I'm about to launch the next part of my journey. What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. So excited. Yeah. So it must just have been fate, destiny, something like that, that I sat down one day and I was doing some very deep thinking, as I am prone to. Um, Even though Dave was like, I didn't know she was that deep, but she actually is. And I discovered that in my journey to my massage school, I'd lost sight of my massage school, and I had
Hmm.
been not distracted, but I felt like now was the time to transition fully into having the massage school, even though at that time it was an online massage school for remedial hot stones. But I found that I was getting pulled in every direction through the clinic and workshops and all these things. So I decided to close my clinic December 2019, and I had a whole year's worth of workshops planned for 2020. I had some paid webinars organized that they were paying me to speak. Could you believe it? And I did the first events in January in Perth 2020, and came back from there. And I remember it was March, I was in the hairdressers, and I remember there being an announcement through like, don't do any massage. And I was like,
Mm.
and it was as if I was actually texting my friend, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just heard the clunk of the roller coaster as it reached the top. Yeah. And it was
Mm.
just like a whole bunch of people just went,
Mm.
and this panic ensued. And I just distinctly remember being at that particular moment and thinking, oh boy, what is going to happen here? And of course, we had disruption of our entire industry for still being disrupted, really.
Mm.
From then until, yes, it's lessened, but it has definitely disrupted our whole industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the question. What did you ask?
You closed your clinic, and you were getting ready to launch your
Yeah.
new phase of
Yeah.
your career.
And So what I did was I stayed at home for the whole of 2020, like everybody else, pretty much. And what did I do? I wrote a book um, and created a course, the scar therapy course, which wasn't called the scar therapy course then, but now it's like, what's actually called the gentle scar therapy course now. And I remember being really excited to have it launched. I did a little Facebook post, and I remember you calling me up going, take my money. I'd be happy to. How can I do that? So yeah, that's how the scar therapy course actually got created. I think it was more end of maybe 2021, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, I think I was just like, it has to come out this year, otherwise I'll just never do it. Because everyone was starting to get back into work and all the rest of it. And I was really busy in 2020 with therapists wanting quality online course.
Yes.
And it's the hot stones, the remedial hot stones course. And it really grew legs then, which was good. I learned so much about everything to do with running a massage school online.
Your work around remedial hot stones has been pioneering here in Australia. Up until that point, I believe that all training focused on relaxation and spa therapies. And this sudden realization of, actually, this is just a tool. It's just another tool that I can apply to my knowledge already.
Yeah, I can bring it in. I can bring it. And yeah, the mushrooming of the term remedial hot stones on the internet. If you look up hot stones course, there's a whole mushrooming of that. I'm like, I think I did that.
It's Ian Harvey made Ian Harvey, the massage sloth. He's
Yeah.
made a comment one day because someone has talked about how they felt that they were cheating on their teachers, I think it was, by blending this and that and the other. And he's made this comment of, well, how do you think these other modalities have emerged? Someone went, if I take this and put it with that, I've got this. And then you put your name to it. And we've got all the greats have put their name to something because they combined a few things and thought outside the box.
Exactly.
You can too.
Just the way with everything.
A lot of our listeners are really new to the industry. Some have been around for a while, but we know that some are just starting out in their careers. Can you share a piece of advice that you wish someone had given to you when you first started your career as a massage therapist?
I got loads of advice when I was starting out, especially in Scotland, and ask for help from people who've been there and done it, is what I would say. Some of the best advice I got was actually on body mechanics techniques, how not to hurt yourself in the first place. Thank you, Simonetta Logan, Holistic School of Massage, because she was a stickler for it. Like, yeah, stacking joints, never using your thumbs for, if you can use something else, use it. What else did she teach me? She taught me if anything did niggle or hurt, get another massage therapist to look at it straight away. Don't put it off. Don't delay. It's actually your most important asset is you. So you need to look after that. Without you, there's no massage. There's no business. There's no income. So yeah, look after your hands, look after yourselves, body, mind, and spirit. So yes, so she was she laid that foundation in us in our qualification back in Scotland there. I remember Megan Murray saying to me one time, she said, I have massage to thank for cars, holidays, my rent, every piece of clothing I own, my education, my travel. Yes, I could be a physiotherapist. Yes, I could go and study chiropractic because I'm smart enough. Definitely could, but I don't want to. I want to make a good and decent living from the thing I love, which is massage. And I went, wow, that at the time was mind blowing, that I could demand that of the massage industry. And at the time, they ran a webinar called Make £35,000 a year and take 6 weeks off. And that was like, to me at that stage, it was like someone saying to me, make $1 million. Yeah, it was that sort of comparison. So it's like, you can make the living you desire from the thing you love if you're prepared to, if you get out of your own way, and if you allow yourself to do it. And I came to Australia with that knowledge and spent, sort of 6 months or a year in clinic on my own and thinking, hang on a minute, I don't want to make the same mistakes I did that I'd made in the UK. Because in the UK, I was a new therapist. I was starting out, and I definitely didn't charge enough. And I did work all the hours, just all of them, worked all of them. I didn't take any of them off. I did take holidays with my family because I eventually put up my prices and made a decent profit. And I learned a lot from doing that. Because I think at one stage in the UK, I got to see my husband for half an hour a day. Didn't make me happy, didn't make him happy, didn't make our children happy. That is actually at the core of what I'm doing, is living a life I'm proud of. Yeah. So when I came to Australia, I decided I'm not working evenings, I'm not working weekends, I'm working school hours, and I'm charging twice what everyone else is in town. Don't like it, deal with it. And I didn't at the beginning with that prices, but eventually it was like, yeah, I did it incrementally. And it was like, actually, I think in 1 week I put up my price 3 times because I didn't get a reaction from my clients. Like,
that is so bold. I love it.
But it's also like, how much is that attention-seeking behavior? Well, it served me quite well, so there you go. Because I think I'd moved to the town and everyone's like, well, you just have to charge the same as me when I was doing the locum work. You just need to charge the same price as me. It's $80 an hour. So for anyone who is still charging $80 an hour, that's what I was charging in 2017, thinking this is too cheap. Don't charge cheap. Charge reassuringly expensive. Reassuringly expensive. That's what I was always taught. Charge a price that you're comfortable with, then add on £10, dollars, whatever. It's okay for people to like it and not like it. Divisiveness is actually kind of cool because for every person that hates you, another person will love you.
Let's have a little chat about your book.
Oh,
yes. So this was released in 2022, I believe.
Yeah, February. Yeah.
Well, your book is called Your Practice, Your Ticket to Joy, Happiness and Profitability.
Yeah.
What's the top 5 takeaways that someone who hasn't read your book will start to learn from it?
Oh, I guess, oh my goodness, that massage is awesome and that you can help people in a really, really big way. Tell us a little bit about my story, starting off with like 2 sets of towels, like working of the evening and washing those towels, and then how I progressed from there. Yeah, it's like how happy massage can make you. And it doesn't come without effort, but it's the easiest way to actually make a difference.
We'll put a link to the book in our show notes, ckmassagetraining.com/shop. You can find a copy of Christine's book, Your Practice, Your Ticket to Joy, Happiness and Profitability there. Well, you've got some courses that you run around Australia in person as well as online. Can you tell us a little bit about what is coming up in what's on the horizon for you?
Oh, I'd love to. Yes. So in October, we've got a trifecta of courses happening. So it's a winner. So we've got the business course. It's like an introduction evening to massage bodywork business with James and Alicia and myself. That's an evening one. And then we've got a whole day introduction, low back and hot stones, treating low back pain with hot stones. And then we have an introduction to scar therapy. So that is on the day 3. And they are happening in Sydney and in Melbourne. When are they happening? Mid-October in Sydney and end of October in Melbourne. And we've got this incredible venue in Melbourne, which is a florist's warehouse. Sounds not very good, but it's a photography studio for floristry. So it's actually full of ferns and greenery, and it's like a loft. And we're supplying all the tables at both of those venues as well, so that if you need to travel, you can. You don't need to take your table, because being a massage therapist and traveling to a lot of courses, the thing that I hated the most, taking the table. I don't mind taking my stones. I don't mind taking a heater, but I minded having to take the table. So we have included that in the course fees.
Where can people head to find out more information about that course?
Go to thehealthleaderco.com. If there's nothing there, just go to the contact and say, tell me about the in-person courses. And we will definitely give you a call.
Now, we've only talked briefly about your work around hot stones and gentle scar massage, and we will have another conversation. We can talk about these things in detail. And I
feel like I've talked my hind legs off today, David.
But where can people find out more about learning those skills with you?
Again, the healthleaderco.com, and you'll be probably redirected. Everything is still kind of being made at the moment, but you'll be redirected to the old CK site. Yeah, our social media pages as well. You can find out loads of fun facts about all of those things on there too. So,
if there's one key message you'd like our listeners to take away from your journey, what would it be?
Don't give up. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, don't give up. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I've enjoyed chatting with you today, Christine. It's been fabulous to have you on the show. As I said, we would love to have you back for round 2, perhaps a round 3 as well. We can talk about more of your journey and your pioneering work around hot stones and the remedial hot stones and gentle scar work. If you like what we are doing on the Folding Towers podcast, please like and subscribe to the podcast. Perhaps even head to our social media pages on Facebook and on Instagram. If you are listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating and a review. And we've enjoyed having you today, Christine. We look forward to the next conversation.
Thank you for having me, David. It's been lovely to be here with you. And congratulations on the podcast. It's really cool.
Thanks so much, Christine.